Greetings folks, are you excited for our first expansion? And I hope you didn't forget to claim that free DLC. So, it is my last build before the expansion is live. This is gonna be my starter, as I found it quite strong and flexible. Plus, I don't know the mechanics of new bosses yet and I don't want to humiliate myself again. But more importantly, hopefully without completely murdering several items in the patch notes, forcing a certain chubby Italian to update several builds for the second time. But how many actually? Porco. Oh god, past another summoner. Yes, I can now Triforce. As I have every type of summoner's archetype as my source. This build, it's max crit pretty easy. Can use any summon you want, up to 5. I don't recommend going 6, but you can also do that if you want. It's a full hybrid that can be played from the start of the game. However, beware that those cute little doggos are gonna get deleted in mid-act 2 in normal game. So good luck, until of course you can afford enough spirituality to make any summon immortal. If instead you want to just have a pure summoner, to want to maximize the damage of your summons, check the link in the description. Let's begin. First of all, our weapon, Deadeye. This item will come in late Act 2. After you finish the main quest, you need to go here. After you kill the bosses there, you can go and loot the chest on the left. However, it comes with a condition. You need to hit 100% critical chance, which as a ranged build is easy anyway. However, since we're also a summoner, we need to work toward our Deadeye Bow. Before you can use Deadeye, you can use Draven. Draven is also very respectable damage, is a very good bow, and it will help you with your crit. In Act 1, in the footage that you saw, I used Sanguine Sting for Act 1 until I got Draven. You can use any bow you want on this build. For arrows, we're gonna use Weirdbone, however, this is not mandatory. You can also use any titanium version that you want. I will not go below titanium, however, because the lower you go, the less is the base damage. For our summons, as I said, you can use any summon you want. This build will not struggle with mana in the way that I put everything together. We don't even need to use a ring of reduced conjuration anymore. We solved that problem now with mana relics. Mana relics will drop from gambling items. They are a very common drop, so just go there at night and start hunting. However, if you struggle with mana, you can use one ring of reduced conjuration. They got changed, they used to be 20% for each ring. That's not the case anymore. So just use the highest one that you can get. This one you also get at the end of Act 2. During your first playthrough, this is useful when you're at lower level. When you are at higher level, with more spirituality, ironically you have more mana to dedicate to summons, so it's not a problem anymore. For helmet, I went with Farsight Hood. This is a new game plus item, however, currently there is no other way to get this one from killing the bounty here in New Game Plus. Until then, you will have to use Corpsebinder, which will help you with your crit and can be used even with Deadeye Bow in case you're missing crit. It's still a good item. The other option is Usurper from the main boss in Act 2. Do not side with the mushroom, just no spoilers. This will give you access to 6 summon. For chest, we're gonna use Last Jest. Before we get Last Jest, we will use Corpsebinder. Corpsebinder is an amazing set, crafted in Act 1, very easy to farm, very easy to use. Or you can also get Hard Shot Jacket, but I do not recommend it on this build. You want to use Doublet of the Last Jest from Act 2, finish the main story, that's the Crypt of Sir Dagonet, located here. We're gonna use Hexgrip Vanbraces, again, end of Act 2 item, before we can become an hybrid, use Corpsebinder. Now, a very important item on this build is going to be the amulet. Pendant of the Endless Study finally got placed in the game. Alternative, Archdruid. Before you can use Finger Necklace, or you can craft yourself a Stone Warden Talisman if you're struggling with crit through the Blacksmith questline. You can get yourself an Amulet of the Novice Ogre Hunter. This is a great item, but you need to stay full health. For rings, we're going to use 2 Marksman treasure. Marksman is from a bounty in Act 2 located here. In alternative, you can use Archer's Ring from the tutorial in the Sunken Ship. You can use a mana ring from the tavern doing the small jumping puzzle. Or of course a ring of reduced conjuration if you do not have any mana relic setup built in. Alternative, also you have the Perilous Orbs from Act 1, but they are not needed for our pants. Since this is a ranged build and we have Summon, we are very safe. We will not do a lot of dodging. Plus we will slow time while we aim. This build is super safe, so we're gonna use Crystal Walker from Act 3 in the Crimson Cave or whatever is the name of the place. This will give you a lot of physical damage. However, it's not the only option. You can use Crow by doing the Children of Morrigan questline inside with Self. You can get Night Stalker while you do the bounty in Act 2 and you get your Marksman treasure. You can even get yourself an Ashen Veil pants. Volker's Warborn that I don't have here are also a good option. You have a lot of good options for pants. For boots, my advice for you is to just get a Tainted Priestess shoes from the Corrupted Temple in Act 2. Will boost your mana radically and will help you out with sustain of those summons. For back item, we are using Ashen Veil. Ashen Veil Cloak comes from Galahad the Crypt in Act 3. You can also use, while leveling, Dual Knight Cape or even Camouflage Net. You can also use Usurper if you want, however I like less. You can also craft yourself a pair of Winged Cavalier backplate if you need extra crit. And that's our gear for us. Now let's look at our attributes. As you can see, we are a spirituality stacker because we are an hybrid and this is how our summons scales higher. Moreover, we convert part of our mana in health, so this is why our health pool is decent. I will not call this good because 300 is not a lot, but we are a ranged build, so it's okay. All the points that you see here are mandatory points, which means that I have 14 points in perception, I need 10. They are tailored for me, so technically I could respec and remove 4 points in perception. No points in practicality. If you want to put points and practicality for selling good, this build has the luxury of doing that, but you will have to remove points from spirituality. And also will not give you an advice on when to do this, because it kind of depends on you, the difficulty you're playing and your gear pretty much. 15 points in dexterity is mandatory. 15 endurance is mandatory, 13 strength, I would say it's also mandatory. Okay, Pasta, whatever, how do I level this thing? I would advise you to do this, 6 points in spirituality, 6 points in endurance. This means that we are doing the early Act 1 as a mage. Then we're gonna put 5 points in dexterity. These allow us to use Sanguine Sting. If you want to use another bow that you saw on the wiki or somewhere else in Act 1, we have option. However, I like Sanguine Sting for leveling because it really hits hard and maintaining the HP loss is really not that hard. Since we are a spirituality build, also making infinite cheese is also easier because we have more mana. 10 spirituality, 10 dexterity, 10 endurance. Then we work toward switching to Draven. You can do this earlier if you are more comfortable with switching as soon as you can. In that case, you need 6 points of strength and then 4 points of perception. However, you need at least 15 points of spirituality. You will also need to get 13 points in strength and 13 points in endurance to be able to use the robes of the last jest. Afterwards, when you get your Deadeye, you will also need 10 points in perception, and the dexterity needs to be 15. And as you can see, these are our requirements. Now, I will go through the skill tree. Alright, how do I level up this thing? This is what I like to do. We start in spirituality, immediately in the summoning tree, summoner battery, prepared ritual, astral bond. We go in dexterity, 1 point in strong arm of the Bowmaster, 3 points in marksman, and then Bowmaster again. Then proper draw technique, eagle eye, unnatural focus, max Stromback. We go back in spirituality, mana battery maxed, invigorating energy. We go in strength, 1 point in godly physique, 1 point in weapon of the great theft. Yes, these will buff our damage even if you're using a bow. We go in two-handed. Now, currently, this still works. If it gets changed in the future, I'm not responsible for this. 1 point in brutish fighter, 3 points in mighty blow. This is how we stagger. We go back in spirituality. We put 2 points in power conduct. Invocation of might, worthy sacrifice, hold the line, feeding frenzy, and then 1 point in mana infused. We go back in dexterity, lucky shot maxed. We go in perception, extra lucky maxed, critical cascade, max go for the eyes, 3 points in respite and cruelty, 2 points in deep wounds, 2 points in critical aegis. On my build, I do not have bloodthirst. What does it mean? Bloodthirst is how you builds in Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, heal. You can take Bloodthirst, or you can do this 3 points increase the vitality and take Carnage and Cruelty. As long as you don't heal, the more stuff that you kill, the better the buff. So the choice here is up to you. We go in practicality, we go in status, exploitation, affliction. If you are playing with multi-dots, meaning you are playing burning, poison, whatever, you can go and take more stuff from the tree. I didn't do this in this build, however. So it's still viable though. Choice up to you. 3 points in Plague Warden. This is a safety mechanic. As soon as you can dedicate points to Red Death, it's time. Crying Pain, you know, all this stuff. All of it is good for you. We max Born in Armor, especially useful in New Game Plus. Arcane Teaching, 2 points in Deadly Aim, 1 point in Piercing Volley, 2 points in Cheater Trick Shot. And the build is done. The extra points can be put anywhere. Now let's look at some of the items needed for this build.
regret that. Oi, Noel, what if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip? Would I still get to be king, or not?
And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribing for more gaming content. If you have any doubts or questions, let me know in the comments. Have fun playing Tainted Grail, and I will see you in the next video.